So my latest release, Lungadi, which is featuring J Kambo, who's produced the music. I recently released that just last week, so I hope you enjoy it. In terms of, I know there may be a lot of people that are obviously watching it that don't understand what I'm saying, but basically what it's about. So Lungadi basically means passing by. So Lungadi Fere, Haini Kuri Lungadi Fere, which is the starting of the song, basically means, oh girl, you're passing by. I like the way you're passing by. So in terms of the song, it's about, a woman that's passing by. She's trying to attract your attention. And throughout the song, I'm just explaining, what she's doing, what she looks like, and just general kind of things. But I hope you enjoy it. And once again, thank you so much for your love and support.
Hello and welcome to Spotlight on Faith, where we look at some fantastic artists who are really using their music to make a big difference. And I'm really pleased to welcome an old friend who I haven't seen for a number of years, Dev Nahar, to the show. Hello, welcome, Dev.
Hello, Ian. How you doing? Nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you.
Doing well. It's good to see you. So for our viewers here, I'll just give an introduction to Dev. He's an award-winning British Asian artist and musician from Glasgow. At the age of 3, he began taking an interest in music when his father used to sing at events and gatherings. His father noticed that he was very interested in music. He used to sit quietly and repeat what he was singing until he matched the vocals of his father. And Dev's father began to craft him musically, teaching him vocals and the harmonium. And at the age of 9, only 9, Dev was introduced to classical music and the tabla, where he began learning from his teachers, Bharati, Prakurti and Vijay. He then began to perform at local events, showcasing his vocals to larger audiences. And even myself, I remember meeting Dev, I think when he was about 15 maybe, I'm not sure.
Yes, that's right. Like I say, it just seems like yesterday, mate. You seems like yesterday. Crazy.
Even then, you were very confident artist. You were obviously learning how to work the stage at that time, and remember,
yes. Yeah.
And unfortunately, after the unexpected passing of Dev's father in 2009, he made a promise to his dad that he would continue to work on their passion and make the dream of becoming a professional musician, a professional artist, a reality. And in June 2018, Dev released his first debut single, Nahar, featuring J Kambo under VIP Records. The single was such a great success that it led him to becoming the Best Newcomer award at the UK Bhangra Awards. It's amazing. Really putting Scotland on the map there as well. And it must have been
exactly.
We'll talk about that just shortly.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
And Dev released his second single, Lungadi. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. I have to say, Ian, I'm very impressed with your pronunciation of all the Indian words. I heard you with the names there, Prakurti, Bharati. Fantastic, mate. Good stuff.
I've learned from some good people. And within 12 hours, that was number 7 in the world charts. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's had around 150,000 views on YouTube already. I mean, that's a huge number. Again, it's, credit to you. And he's still only age 25. Obviously, he's got the rest of his career ahead. And it's very exciting where that's going to go with his unique sound and style. So, again, welcome, Dev. Really.
Thank you very much, Ian. Thank you very much for having me. I do appreciate it.
It's great to catch up with you after all this time and just learn how successful things are going for you. Well, I have a few questions for you, obviously. And first of all, incredible that you had this interest in music from age of 3. Tell us about, what do you remember your earliest?
Yeah, so I think music is it's basically something that's always been in my family. It goes back to my kind of uncles and obviously my father. The kind of earliest memories I have is basically when I was young. So my dad was always practicing, so he was around surrounded by his brothers, family members, and he was always basically practicing. So he would have a mic system, like a sound system, So when he was practicing, basically when he would finish, I would then go up to that mic and just start singing what he was singing.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so he would basically sing this song, which is a classical kind of folk song, which is up and Java, and then you would hear me in my baby voice basically repeating that.
Wow.
So I think from then on, my dad basically realised that I've obviously maybe got a bit of potential to try and do something. So then from then basically, he started kind of teaching me like just the fundamental basics of like vocals, so scales. So in obviously in Western kind of music, you have do re mi fa sol la ti do. In the Indian classical, we have sa re ga ma pa da ni sa.
Okay.
So yeah, so we basically started off very, very kind of slow in that. But like I say, the memories I have is kind of my mum's got all the videos as well, so that you can just see this little baby with nappies.
I was going to ask you,
singing.
have those videos?
Yeah. So I've got like so many, like my mum, she shows me all these videos in it. She's like, yeah, like I'm tapping on this kind of basin, and I'm just singing away and all that. So yeah, it's good. It's funny actually because my mum sent me a video as well. Like she was like showing me in it like what I was doing. But yeah, it's been like really, really early that I've been doing it basically.
I think that's going to come back. Those videos, I can see that being on NTV and then a few future celebrity shows that you're.
Hopefully, we shall see.
So at age of 9, you were already starting to actually play these instruments from the tabla and the harmonium, which can be a bit tricky. And so your dad was really helping to teach you and inspire you to take that kind of music up, was he?
Yeah, definitely. I think my dad was he was a perfectionist.
Right.
So because when he was growing up, he never really had that time to kind of focus on himself.
Right.
As in because it was obviously one of his dreams to become a singer, to become an artist.
Okay.
So he I think he obviously grown up, he gave that up because obviously he had to support our family.
I understand.
So obviously, as you can imagine, as a working class person, it was very hard. So he had his own businesses which he had to run, so he had to dedicate all his time to that. So I think when me being the youngest of the three of us, he kind of focused a lot on me. And so he wanted me to basically be a perfectionist when it comes to music. So in terms of learning it properly, like actually, learning your scales, learning your rhythms, learning your percussion, knowing when to come in, when you're in a live band, like he was very, very, like he loved his live bands. So, it was all about, timing, like being able to go into a live band, just, direct and say to the band, this is how to play this. This is when you come in, all these kind of things. So he wanted me to be.
This is the wow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know yourself. I mean, you've played in many live bands, and you have to have that ear, like to just step in and obviously direct the music. So yeah, so that's where it started. So at age 9.
Wow.
Sorry.
No. And was there different styles you were being exposed to? Was it traditional Indian music? Because a lot of the harmonium music also has a kind of spiritual feel to it, obviously.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I think Indian classical music is obviously the kind of fundamental base. When it comes to kind of Punjabi music, because that's basically, you could say, it's like it's weird how you can explain it, but it's like basically your tones and your rhythms. We call them in Indian classical, we call them rags.
Yeah.
So a rag is basically a certain tone. So we have morning rags, and we have evening rags, which we sing. And when you recite them, it's basically the same as shabds, like the Sikh kind of scriptures that they sing about. That's what they're based on. So they're based on rags.
Right.
So that's where it all comes from. It all comes from Indian classical music. So I think my dad wanted me to really learn the kind of fundamental basics.
Right.
And then as I grew older, I wanted to basically change that style. which I'm trying to do just now
Okay.
with the music I'm releasing.
So that's quite interesting. So there's a few things there. So obviously your father had a love for the Indian classical. Was there a kind of spiritual element to that as well? Was faith an important thing?
Definitely. I think having that faith and obviously hope in God, it's something special, like, that kind of relationship you have, because every time, if I go to perform, every time I even, lay down a vocal, every time I'm recording a track, I will always do my prayers. Because I think it's very, very important to show gratitude and to be thankful for what you've been blessed with. Because personally, I feel that whoever has, any form of talent, any form of gift, even with yourself, you're an extraordinary vocalist and a guitarist, and you've obviously been blessed by the Lord with that to recite to others. So I think it's very special, and it's it's good to thank Him, and to obviously be very, very respectful, and as I say, show gratitude for that talent. So yes, I'm very spiritual when it comes to that.
Two things interesting you were saying. One is it feels a little bit that your father maybe wanted to live his dreams through you. Was there an element of I really want I couldn't be the artist I wanted to be, but I really hope my son can have that dream.
Yeah, it was because, like I say, he was always, like, even family gatherings, he was always performing, and he just had that kind of natural showmanship, and I think when I used to watch him, I was like, wow, man. It goes, I'd be saying to, like, my cousins or whoever, I was like, yo, man, that's my dad. That's like,
that's great.
So yeah, I love it. But I think you're right. Yeah, it was something that he kind of, because he knew I enjoyed it, I had a passion for it. He wanted me to obviously try and develop that as much as I could, with obviously practicing and learning the theory of music. So
you were determined. It gave you an extra determination, I guess, when your father passed away, to say, well, I'm going to dedicate, my career. I'm going to, be a success, so that father will be proud of what I do. And you're really doing that.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's it, man. I'm, like I say, when my dad he passed away, 2009, and that was honestly probably one of the hardest things that I've been through, because as you can imagine, when you've been brought up with someone that's obviously your role model, and obviously he dedicated a lot of his time. He was always with me, he was always getting me gigs and all this kind of stuff. I'm sure you met him a few times as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So he was very, very kind of. He supported me with my vision and what I wanted to do.
So I was going to ask it. It's great to know that. Obviously, been such inspiration in your life. That you talked a little bit about the styles of music. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I feel like at an early age you felt that you wanted to fuse some of these different styles together?
Yeah, exactly. So what I think what I wanted to do, well, I'll tell you a little story actually. So when we used to basically do our Indian classical music, so when we used to do our training, so rags are basically set in their ways, they can't be changed.
Yes.
So when I was doing a rag, I would always add my type of element into it and make it different.
Right.
And I would always get told off by my vocalist. She would say, "Why are you doing that?" She goes, "It's not part of thing." Me, I said, and I just said to her, "But it's what I'm feeling just now." Because I need to let it out. So I was always like that. I was always wanting to create, wanting to fuse, wanting to try and manipulate the sound. Because I think that's what makes a vocalist and an artist unique to themselves, is to be able to take a genre and basically make it their own.
Right.
So for example, if I was to give you a song, you would be like, you would obviously add your own element, your own flavor into it. The same with me. If you were to give me a song, I would change it. So it's just that I think it's something that we're all built with, in terms of being unique. So yes, I was always kind of experimenting with hip hop, R&B, Indian classical music, jazz. Massive fans of Michael Jackson, Prince, James Brown, all these kind of guys.
Right.
So I try my best to kind of use that same kind of sound.
See, that's great, because I do actually think that's quite unique, because I think there are a lot of artists, unfortunately, they just try to imitate one other artist too much.
Yeah,
So the
I
fact
think.
that you, when you approached it, you wanted to, there was something in you wanted to change it. That
Yeah,
is
I
different.
think. I think the reason for that, Ian, is that because I think artists, they see the success of someone else,
Mm,
so they obviously want to duplicate that.
yeah.
So they want to go, you know what, this is working well for him, you know, so I'll use that same process. You know, this is what's working in the market. But I truly believe that if you trust in yourself, you know, your time will come. So if you just do what you're doing, you know, if you just put out, you know, what you're doing, can it be unique to yourself, be true to yourself?
Well,
Um,
it kind of feels like you're happy, and your time has coming. I mean, in
well, hopefully.
2018.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll leave that. I'll leave that in God's hands. But we'll
Well,
see.
also in 2018, you won the Best Newcomer at the UK Bhangra Awards. So it feels like your approach, all the hard work, is paying off. And you know, you've departed obviously from what was your traditional Indian classical roots, but you've managed to forge something together with that unique style that you have. So I mean, that must have been
Yeah,
something to win the Best Newcomer award.
yeah. It was like I say, it was special because I I as a person, so I set myself with goals and targets and ambitions. You know, I think
Mm.
that's very important for a person. And one of them goals was to win the Best Newcomer award. So when I basically found out, like I was, um, like I didn't believe it was real. You know, I was ecstatic because I basically received a call, so it must have been 12:01 in the morning, from one of my friends, and obviously, you know, they're all into their UK Bhangra, you know,
Mm.
kind of, you know, whatever.
Mm.
And he happened to be on whatever website it was, and it was showing the nomination list for the awards. So I think they were obviously making, they were kind of planning a night, you know, to obviously visit the awards, and he was going through the list, and it came to Best Newcomer, and it said UKBA 801 Dave Nahar.
Mm.
So he was obviously like, what? He goes, like, Dave Nahar, because that's, you know, that's my friend. So I think he phoned me straight away, and he's like, listen, he goes, is that you? Like, I goes, well, because I didn't know, you know, I genuinely thought that maybe it was another artist that's obviously has the same name
Has the
as me.
same name, so you didn't even know that.
Yeah, so that's what I personally thought, because I didn't believe, or I didn't expect it to happen so early on. So then what happened is I looked at it and I was like, nah, no way. I goes, that can't be right. And then obviously the next day, I received a message from them officially. And then they basically said that, you know, this is what's happening, you know, they're inviting me to the event and all that kind of stuff. And I was just over the moon. Like,
Wow.
I genuinely couldn't believe it. So
But you
yes, I
must have
mean,
had an idea that your songs were starting to do well. Your first song was starting to do well. There's an
um,
inclination that you had a following that was building towards
I
that,
don't,
no?
I think there was, but I just, like, I mean, even like when people talk to me, they're like, oh, you know, your fans. They always say that, oh, you know, your fans appreciate, you know, this and that. I'm like, I don't have. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, like, in terms of fans. To me, to me, they're just normal human beings that are appreciating my music.
Mm.
So I mean, like I say, I mean, for people to appreciate my music, it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, so Nindra was, you know, done it done well. But I think in my head, I just couldn't accept that fact. You know, I was just like, I just couldn't believe it, because I was like, you know, it's my first song, that you don't expect it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's
It's
great. It's amazing.
yeah,
So that
yeah.
they make you feel, I'm here. I'm on this. I finally arrived in a sense.
I'll be honest. I didn't change one bit.
Right.
I didn't change one bit. For me, it was just like, I was like, you know what, I just need to stay true to myself. Because I think because I won that
Mm.
award, so I released Nindra in 2018,
Mm.
and then I released Lungri, which was my second single, in
Mm.
2020.
Mm.
So you can see there was a various gap. So I mean,
There's quite a
that's
gap there between
2 years,
that.
yeah.
Was that
So
conscientious? Was the decision for that?
I think what had happened is I basically said to myself, so I was like, you know what, I goes, if I'm going to do this, I need to do this properly. For people that say, you know, that, oh, you know, you're gonna, you know, they think that you do a single and you just become an overnight success. That's not the case. Do you know what I mean? That it might happen, but do you know what I mean? if it does happen, you still need to be, that same mentality in terms of, working hard and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I've done. I worked hard. I basically learned how to release it myself. So this one I released independently.
Right.
So I done everything independently. My friend, he shot the video. It was just, like I say, it was my own product. So I was very, very proud when it was released, because it was something that I had done that I thought I couldn't do. But it just shows you. It just shows you. I mean, we're all blessed by by God to basically have that that power of creativity to do anything we want.
And without a company, a big label behind it, it's doing incredibly well to have all those views.
Like I say, it's I'm still like I don't know how to I just can't accept it. It's just like I say, it's amazing because I mean when you're doing something, like I personally I expected it that okay, maybe come get a couple of thousand views or something. Do you know what I mean? I'm just thinking like a normal kind of person, but when I remember my family, they did by the way that video has hit 100,000 views. I goes, what do you mean? It's like, well, it's been on for 2 days and it's at 100,000 views. I was like, what?
Incredible.
I just can't believe it.
So what's next? What's next for you? You have your new single out. Is there going to be an album? Is there going to be a tour? And where can people come and connect more with you and your music?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of myself, I'm working on some new music. So right now, I've got a couple of singles that are lined up.
Great.
I'm just basically choosing what one to release because I want, like I say, when it comes to music, I want it to be absolutely perfect. So like I'll listen to it and listen to it and listen to it till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, until I feel it's right. Because I think as an artist, yourself, you'll listen to something, and then when you come back with fresh ears, you're like, you know what, I can add this, I can do that, I can change this, I can change that. So yeah, so I've got a few that I'm basically working on. So hopefully I'll release the details of them of what I'm going to be releasing. In terms of connecting with myself, I'm on Instagram, which is Dave Nahar with the number 7. I've got my official Facebook page, which is Dave Nahar Official. And that's basically all I use. I don't really use Twitter and all that kind of stuff. I'm mostly active on Instagram and Facebook. So if you'd like to join me there, basically, find out what I'm up to in my new music, then I would greatly appreciate if you could follow my journey.
But everybody, please remember, connect, and we'll leave the details here on the show. And finally, do you have any message for people watching?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, God bless you all. I hope, obviously, everyone's, we've all been through a very, very tough time in terms of the pandemic. So I hope you are all staying well, staying safe. I hope your families are all healthy and safe. And like I say, I'd just like to thank you for joining myself. And obviously thank you to yourself, Ian, for inviting me. I do greatly appreciate your support. I mean, you've always been very supportive of me, so I just want to say thank you. And like I say, God bless you all, and I hope everyone just follows your dreams, and hopefully all your dreams come true.
Thank you, Dave. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show.